Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into part 1 of our countdown for the top 20 urban legends that turned out to be true. Edwin Curtis, 68, is being driven nearly insane by an insatiable itching. I'm going to die from the itching. We'll be looking at stories for this list that are so strange most people would write them off as fiction, but they're actually true, or at least based on true occurrences. Do you know of another bizarre urban legend that, in spite of all the odds, proved to be true? Share your story with us in the comments. Number 20. Animals in the toilet. How on earth did an animal end up in someone's bathroom, particularly with contemporary plumbing? Most species can be discouraged by the networks of curbing pipes, flowing water, and germ-killing chemicals, but not all of them. Snakes enjoy cool environments and are very skilled at negotiating pipelines. They have been observed in restrooms all around the world. Even while they are often not poisonous, sitting on one is still not recommended. Rats are the other most frequent offenders. With remarkable dexterity, these resilient rodents can swim, climb, and squeeze through small areas. But then, maybe not so much to someone who was just bitten on the butt while trying to use the restroom. Number 19. Murderers through the medicine cabinet. A scene from the 1992 film Candyman was first shown to audiences, and it's now practically cliched. A criminal attacks a gullible victim by breaking through a restroom mirror. Many viewers are unaware that this scenario is based on a horrifying real-life incident. Ruthie Mae McCoy, a Chicago housing project resident, contacted 911 in 1987 in a panic, reporting that guys were breaking through her toilet wall. Unfortunately, despite reports of gunfire, police made very little attempt to break into her secured flat, giving up that evening and the following. Ruthie's body was found when the building administrators checked on her at the insistence of a neighbor. The bathroom medicine cabinet had been breached by the murderers, who escaped capture. Number 18. Charlie No-Face. Midway through the 20th century, children in Pennsylvania were all told tales about Charlie No-Face, the green figure who haunted a railroad tunnel at night. Adolescents challenged one another to go out and find him. The fact was well known in Beaver County's Capel. There was a Charlie No-Face, whose name was Raymond Robinson. Robinson had a terrible electrocution as a child, losing his right arm, nose, and eyes. When he was an adult, Raymond would take lengthy, dark walks down State Route 351. There were occasions when he was abused or picked up and dropped off somewhere strange, but some people were nice enough to bring him alcohol and cigarettes. At the age of 74, he passed away in 1985. Number 17. A fake word in the dictionary. It's common knowledge that English needs to be defended, correct? It's this gorgeous, immaculate tower, sort of. It's actually a lot closer to a child. Is the dictionary reliable? What if a cunning editor made the decision to trick everyone? Although we are not aware of that happening, a fictitious word was included in the 1934 edition of Webster's International Dictionary. The term was defined as dense, dord, and it was spelled D-O-R-D. How did this come about? Well, it all began on July 31, 1931, when one of our chemistry experts sent us a 3x5 slip of paper. This error happened when someone misinterpreted a chemical editor's remark that had an uppercase D, the word or, and a lowercase d. They believed that pronunciation symbols had been placed in the spaces. The error was noticed by an editor in 1939, but it wasn't fixed until 1947. Number 16. Accidental self-defenestration. Let the engineers handle the window testing. A number of students watched as attorney Gary Hoy hurled himself out of the Toronto Dominion Center's 24th-story window in the summer of 1993. He had apparently been amazed by the building's construction and had pulled off this trick before to demonstrate how sturdy the windows were. Although the glass did not shatter, it did fall out of its frame, sending Hoy flying to his death. The renowned legal practice Holden Day Wilson met its death in part due to the unfortunate catastrophe. Number 15. The Bunnyman. A trail of partially consumed rabbits hanging in the trees and on the ground was found by a manhunt. Despite the cutesy connotations of his moniker, this Virginia man's urban legend is somewhat graphic. The narrative takes place in 1904, when a prisoner breaks out of a mental health facility and hangs rabbits and later kids from a bridge in Fairfax County. This probably never happened, but there were two strange instances in Fairfax in 1970. A white-clad man who might have had something on his head approached a couple who were parked in a driveway. He vanished after hurling a hatchet at the car window. Then a security guard reported seeing a rabbit man using an axe to hack off a porch. After then, the Bunnyman vanished, but the people in the area still remember him, his axe, and his floppy ears. Number 14. Flying with balloons. Although it sounds like something from an animated film, this actually did happen. A man by the name of Larry Walters flew off into the California sky after fastening 45 helium balloons to a plastic lawn chair. However, unlike in fiction, these endeavors are not always successful. At 16,000 feet, Larry found himself floating to the surface, where he was observed by several stunned airline pilots who alerted air traffic control. Larry's craft was entangled in power lines as it descended. After his detention, police struggled to prove their charges. A person's pilot license cannot be revoked if they do not possess one, and lawn chairs rarely receive airworthiness certificates. Number 13. Animals in the sewer. Fears of spooky creatures living in sewers date back to the invention of the system. It was octopuses for the ancient Romans, raging pigs for the English in the 1800s, and a deadly clown for Stephen King. However, there are also confirmed reports of strange animals in sewers, in addition to the stories. Though history has it that they established colonies, alligators do occasionally show up in U.S. eastern seaboard sewers. It is horrifying to think that an animal like this could be out in the wild beneath New York City. 1988 saw the discovery of 3 enormous snapping turtles in New York sewers, while 2015 saw the need to save a herd of manatees from a Florida storm drain. Perhaps octopuses weren't such a crazy idea after all. Number 12. Cropsy. We would follow our camp counselors down this route, and when they emerged from the buildings, they would frighten us. It's possible that Cropsy's real story is worse than its myth. Cropsy was a boogeyman legend that lived close to the Willowbrook State School in Staten Island, New York, and was said to catch and kill children. Enough about the school itself was terrifying. Before it closed, students there suffered from mistreatment, disregard, and unhygienic surroundings. When a missing girl's body turned up on school property that year, Andre Rand, a former Willowbrook janitor who was still residing there, was found guilty of kidnapping her. In addition, he was a suspect in several crimes of a similar nature. While incarcerated, he was found guilty of another kidnapping allegation. Number 11. Someone hiding in the back seat. A woman is driving home at night when all of a sudden the gas station worker tries to catch her attention, or the automobile behind her starts flashing its headlights. As it happens, their intention was to warn her about the man who was concealed in her rear seat. However, the urban legend comes before them. There have been instances of guys sneaking into women's cars, however the specifics appear made up. While the woman was at a gas station in Hammond, Indiana, in 2013, a man broke into her van and kidnapped her. 3 years later, a man appeared in the back seat of a car that a lady was parking in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Canada, forcing her to crash. Both she and the suspect fled. That's it for part 1. If you thought these urban legends were spooky, wait until you see the rest in part 2. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part of our countdown.